Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Chai and Chill. Today we'll be talking about taking me days, or better known as self-care.
It's getting busier, we're getting more attached to things, and you're just getting too much in your head. Overthinking is actually an issue that Ishani and I both deal with, and we'll openly tell you that we're overthinking. At least I take self-care. Ishani, I don't.
Hey!
She's very bad, and if anyone knows her, she knows that she'll just overwork herself. But
Already starting with a roast. Literally, it's been 2 minutes into the podcast.
But let me just step back and tell you about my day today. It's cold as shit outside.
Yeah.
You've not noticed.
Why the hell do we live in a place that's so fucking cold?
Yeah, no, I was like, tell my mom, why the hell did you immigrate here?
Literally the worst.
Like, what the hell? Did you not have any other options?
And to give you like a scale, it's literally like minus 30.
I think it was like minus 36 when I left this morning.
Oh my god.
And my bus was 30 minutes late.
Yeah, I don't blame them. There were so many collisions today because people can't drive.
It was like, I read on Twitter, it was like 75
Holy.
in 4 hours.
I almost got in a collision. I don't know why I'm talking shit.
Yeah, no, today was a bad day. Actually, bad weather is always good time for self-care, I think. Because
That's a good word.
I think there's like what is it called? The general seasonal depression.
Yeah.
Or SAD. It's called SAD. Seasonal depression. Or
You get
seasonal,
attached to the weather.
Something. Anxiety depression? Something like that. I'm not sure. I don't know these words. Yeah.
Explain what it is, though.
Oh, it's just when you get depressed when the weather's shit. And that's normal for every Canadian, I feel. Because weather's always crap here. It's either too cold or too hot.
Yeah. We have like 2 months of really nice weather and the rest is just garbage.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the perfect weather is April.
Really? I was going to say July.
That's so hot, though.
I love hot weather, though.
Oh, yeah, you're weird. I love, like, gloomy weather.
Yeah, I like gloomy, too.
Like, when it's cold,
like
but not too cold. Like, that spring weather that hit the peak. And, yeah, we're getting totally off topic. Let's go back to self-care and how we can deal with it. Maybe we should start from how we deal with self-care.
What is self-care, though?
Self-care is taking care of yourself. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's basically putting yourself first in many instances and saying, I'm not going to do this toxic behavior anymore, or I'm going to distance myself away from the toxic behavior, and then, just working it out.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think it's like relaxation to me. Self-care is relaxation. It's just stopping what you're doing, thinking about what you're doing, and just taking your time, basically.
Mm-hmm. I find that when I take a moment to think, that's when I overthink. And then like...
It's like a gateway drug.
Yeah, it's a gateway to like more anxiety. Yeah. So I have to do something that for self-care, at least, I have to like stop completely thinking. Turn off my brain.
Interesting.
So it's in a way that I am like isolated from someone, or I'm just watching TV, or I'm isolated like physically, and I'm just like... just turn off my brain. I'm reading, I'm listening to music, and it's just completely like just me. I'm not like having to use my brain. For me, that's the best type of self-care.
Yeah, where you're basically distracted from
thinking. Yeah. Because I overthink normally, and if I give myself time to think, and if I'm already stressed, I'm going to be thinking about the worst possible thing for that. And I'm also going to be thinking about the worst possible outcome for literally everything else. And you know that. Like, when I, like, freak out about one thing or have, like, anxiety about one thing, it's not just one thing. It's, like, 40 billion things that just pop up. And then I'm like, okay, I need a game plan for all these things.
Right now.
Yeah, like right now. And until that, I find that I'm not going to be okay. That anxiety is not going to be gone. So
how does self-care then help with your anxiety?
It makes me relax. It makes me calm down. It makes me think. Like, not think, but it focuses me on to, like, the actual issue, not the side stuff that I get sidetracked onto. So just, like, tunnel vision. Like, okay, this is the actual issue that I have to deal with. Yeah. Let me take a break for, like, an hour, a week, 2 weeks, I don't know. But from that, I have to come up with a game plan to make that anxiety go away. Either it's, like, to get a better grade in school, or just, like, to do something that's going to get rid of it that's an effective plan. So there's always a game plan that comes out of my self-care. Yeah. Because if I don't come up with a game plan, then that's not a good thing, for me at least. And then I have the whole issue of, like, yeah, anxiety is a huge issue.
So walk us through what the process is like from anxiety to self care. Like when do you realize that okay, my anxiety needs to stop? I need to have self care. Like what goes on in your brain that helps you decide or distinguish that? Because that's where I struggle.
Oh, okay. Like I can feel my anxiety. Like it's like a physical thing where it's getting too much. So it's like my heart rate's bonkers. Like completely, I can't control my heart rate. It's just too fast. I'm not breathing properly. I'm just tired. And I just feel anxious. Like literally just anxious. Like I can't even sit down. I need to like on the spot. I need to either write something down, and usually that's my course of action.
Yeah, writing is really
down.
good.
Yeah, because I can't. I need to visualize it. I think.
Right.
And like to map out that I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
So what I usually do is if I'm super anxious and it's about scheduling or how busy I am, then I'll just find my notebook and then I'll plan out my next couple of days. And when I plan out, it's like not healthy planning out. It's like my every hour of the day will be
It's
planned.
normal for lots of people.
Yeah, like I schedule in times for eating. I schedule in my
type A personality. Yeah, it's normal for them.
So it's like unless I have that written down, then I can't.
It's not gonna happen. Otherwise.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen, and my brain's just gonna freak out more.
Yeah.
So for me, when it gets to that physical point of anxiety, then that's when I'm like, okay, cool. Like I need to do something right away. But usually I can tell when something's gonna be like too anxiety filled. And like usually like if it gets really, really, really bad, then I like it's like breathing is an issue.
Right. So do you take self care in between those times, or is it?
Yeah, I definitely schedule my self care.
Yeah.
So it's like I started to do self care during like studying. So either it's gonna be time for Netflix or it's gonna be coloring time. It's gonna be something dumb that I can do for like 15, 20 minutes. Either it's like YouTube, listening to podcasts, listening to music, but it'll be scheduled in just so I have something that I can do to relax and then move forward. Because then I feel like my brain just gets tired and then it just like gets overwhelming. I feel
you need a change of pace.
Yeah,
like a change of whatever you're doing.
Yeah, and I also found that like when I'm on the internet too much and I'm like reading too many heartbreaking stories, I get like not anxiety, but
emotionally
I get like
drained.
Yeah, it gets emotionally draining. So then I have to put my phone away and Twitter away and like stop.
Yeah.
Because like there's so much heartbreak in the world.
It's a lot of sadness.
Yeah. So then once you get in the loophole of it, it's like very hard to go into it. So then I literally have to take breaks from that and like go away from media and then come back into it with a fresh mind. Because it's just like information is so accessible nowadays that
it's almost too much.
Yeah. How do you take care of your self-care?
I don't.
Good question.
I don't really, honestly. It's pretty bad. So why I asked you if you have regularly scheduled self-care is because I think I don't do that. And to me, it's when it gets to the point where it's like, shit, like you've hit capacity, that's when I take my self-care, which is it's not really healthy. It's pushing your boundaries and then being like, okay, now I need to work backwards to, take a break or like relax. So it's quite different.
For me, it's like self-care is like also like school related, work related, and like life, but it's also for me, it's just like removing myself from toxic people or just like toxic environments. And I'm very good at running. Like I've realized that from like just life actually, that from situations that I'm not comfortable with, I will like remove myself, like mentally remove myself, or like I'll physically remove myself. And then like I usually sometimes don't even deal with my problems. I just run away from them. Like
it's super annoying.
Like genuinely don't even deal with them. Like because it's like, what do I want out of it? If it's like not gonna like
materialize,
yeah, then I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna run. Like it's
I wish I could do that because I'm very confrontational. If there's a problem, I need it to be solved right now so that I cannot think about it ever again and like it's solved.
Yeah.
So like running away or like silent treatment or like ignoring the problem is just frustrates me more. I'm like, can you just tell me what is wrong so I can fix it?
Yeah.
And so we can get over this and go back to normal.
Yeah.
And it's not just to one person. It can be like anything. If there's like something goes wrong, like day to day shit goes wrong, right? All the time at work, at whatever. I just need that problem to be fixed right now so that I can focus on something else.
See, like that's the funny thing about me. Like if it's work related or school related, it has to get fixed right away. Yeah. If it's like life and relationship related, I'm just like, hey, I'm just gonna ignore this problem until it goes away. And
no,
It usually doesn't because that's shit advice to give to myself. Like, just make it go away. But especially if it's like another human that you're dealing with.
Imagine
like,
what they're going through, like on the flip side of it.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, man. It's just I can't get my like. I think it's a mechanism to save myself or a defense mechanism. I could have just said that. It's definitely a defense mechanism because I'm just like I don't know if I'm too scared of the outcome or like too scared of getting hurt, but
probably both.
Yeah, and
to some level, right?
I'm just like, okay, I need to run from this, and I usually do, or like I distance myself.
That makes sense.
And then it's just that's usually my self-care.
Well, like on a deeper level, that's basically if I didn't do anything, it's not really my fault. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
It's like it's kind of like taking the accountability and putting it on the side.
Yeah, and it's usually like the reason I don't like confrontation is because I don't know my game plan yet.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if I talk to you in the moment and like let you know, or like you have a conversation with me and it's like, this is what you have an issue with me, right? I'm not gonna tell you my answer right away. I might just be like, okay, cool, thanks. Thanks for the input. Because I don't know what I'm thinking right now. Like, it's genuinely true.
Yeah, no, I know it's true.
I'll take like, I don't know, a couple of days, and then I'll think about what I want to say, what I feel about the situation, and I'll come back to you.
Yeah, I'm completely opposite.
Because like I can't. It's not that I can't think on the spot. It's just that I want to know 100% sure that this is what I want, and then how to say it properly. Like, because sometimes when you're talking and it just on the spot, it's just like things get lost and you don't say things correctly, and I have a problem with that, right? So, and it's just like I'd rather just come up with a game plan and then let you know what's happening, and then we can discuss it then.
Okay. On the flip side, so from the opposite person, the person that likes the solution or the reaction right away, this is what it sounds or feels like. It feels like, I told you all of this about how I felt in that situation. You took it, but you didn't even care enough about it to give me a reply.
Okay.
Right? Or it feels like this isn't important to you, so you're taking your sweet ass time with it.
But then, like, how do I, okay, so in that situation, do I just come up to you and be like, tell you what it's on my mind right there and then?
Yeah.
Or do I tell you straight up, like, hey, this is how I communicate, and is this the best option? Like, it's not the best, this is the best option for me, but is it going to work for you?
Yeah. So I think it's a little bit of both because we know each other now for so long that I know that's how you think. So I'm not offended or I don't take it personally. I'm like, okay, she needs her time. That's just how she works. And that's what happens with lots of people, right? Once they know each other, they figure out how they communicate. So they come up with like a middle ground, basically.
Yeah.
But if you don't know the other person well, maybe it's like a situation where you're just a coworker or you're just, a very like acquaintance type of friend. Then you don't necessarily know the other person well enough to be able to pinpoint that's how she handles communication or conflict or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it's important to communicate. Be like, I really appreciate all this that you told me, but I need some time to think about it because of this, and this.
Yeah.
But it sounds like a really formal thing to say to a friend, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's really, I don't know, it sets the other person in a very downward spiral if they think that you don't care enough about the relationship. Yeah,
that's true. And I think, like, even once you start getting closer to someone, having that open communication or just letting them know this is how you communicate is, like, a huge part of self-care. Yeah. Because, like letting people know what's up with you or, like, how you, like, to
how their actions felt when they did them.
Yeah. And, like, I have a huge problem with confrontation because it's, like, what's the point? For me, that's my thing of it. It's, like, what's the point? What's it going to fix? Or, like, or I just might feel uncomfortable telling you the truth, even though I shouldn't, because it's like a close relationship. It just might be, I don't feel comfortable. It's not that, I'm just not that personality just to do that.
Yeah.
Like, confront people. So
people take it surprisingly well. And I don't mean it in a negative way. Like, don't call people out on dumb shit or like, don't be a dick about it. I'm saying like, just be open enough to say that you hurt me this way or your actions, I really appreciated how you did this for me. Mm-hmm. Right? That's still a conflict. It's not negative. A confrontation doesn't have to be like,
Yeah. That makes sense. It's just like, I've never thought about confrontation as like a way of communication. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I just kind of was like, okay, I'm just going to deal with it. It's
Sometimes
fine.
people need to be called out on their shit. Sometimes it's me that needs to be called out on my shit. I am open to that.
Yeah.
Tell me when I'm effing up.
Okay, let's go back to self-care. Because we kind of went on a little, we didn't go on a complete spiral, but it's still kind of on topic.
It's a very, 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 very important part of self-care because it's emotional self-care.
Yeah.
And that's how I would link it to self-care, because to a person that is always thinking about like the actions of whatever,
Mm-hmm.
confrontation makes them feel more at ease, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm speaking for myself, or people like me.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, there's also people like you
Yeah.
that hate it. So we need to realize that
Yeah.
when we think of self-care.
For me, it's like confrontation is like a form of anxiety. Like it gives me
Yeah.
anxiety because it's like if especially if it's an like an awkward topic or saying like I don't know, it just gives me anxiety.
I can see
because,
why.
like,
It's a difficult conversation, right?
yeah, and then it's like if I do say this thing, is it going to affect the relationship? How is that other person going to take it? It's more about the other person. How are they going to take it? Even though they might be strong enough or like capable enough to handle that, it's just like, oh, maybe they aren't. So I'm going to protect them. It's not even like,
Yeah, I
do
get
you
it.
get what I mean?
You know what's interesting? Now that I'm just trying to think back of situations where I've had to confront people, and it's usually me that brings it up. So, and why that's important is because I've already thought about it 800 times. I've already prepped for what I'm going to tell you, right? So it's like I'm ready for war almost. It sounds really bad, but like I'm ready to tell you I've already thought about how I'm going to frame it, how I'm going to say it, and how the other person is going to react. I've already thought of like A, B, C. These are the situations that this person can react. So I'm ready, but the other person has no idea that I'm going to do this usually, right?
Yeah.
Or like they may have an idea, but if they're avoiding it, it's in the back of their mind. They're like, oh, she's not going to say anything. No, whatever, right? So I'm catching you off guard. So I can see why the anxiety would be there.
Yeah. I guess even like that's from the perspective like of you confronting me, right?
Right.
But me confronting you is another form of anxiety for me. Because it's like
Interesting.
I don't want to be that person. I don't want to, because like if it's important, what if it's important to me that I say this thing, but then it's like
It hurts you in the end.
yeah, and then it hurts you, and then hurts the relationship, and then it's like a huge spiral down, and then it's like so many factors that go into it for my thinking at least. Because usually what I do too is I go through the conversation. I go like, this is what I would say. This is what this person would say, and like this is how we would handle it. And then usually after I do that, I forget about it because I'm in my head. I'm like, oh, I already dealt with it.
Right.
Because like that act of me doing it in my head is a way of me like getting rid of that feeling. And then the other person has no idea that I've already done this in my head. So that person never gets to know that this thing bothered me.
Yeah.
So then in a way that person's still going to keep doing it over and over again. And then so in a way it's bad, in a way like it just doesn't make sense.
It's not good for mental health, right? It's like if there's a problem,
just deal with it head on.
Right. We haven't solved it, so it's still going to be a problem persisting all the time.
Yeah.
Unless we solve it.
Yeah. I guess so. Yeah. It's just hard to do like when you're not used to it.
Yeah, and it's very context dependent, situation dependent. Like you can't call everyone out. I'm not going to call my boss out when she pisses me off.
Yeah.
Right? And even if I do, it's a very different conversation than it is with my friend that pissed me off. Like it's completely different conversation, but they both affect my mental health.
What happens when okay, this is an off, I guess on topic but off topic as well too. Like the whole trend cutting in 2018 cutting
people off.
Toxic people.
Yeah.
So it's like
yes, I support it.
Yeah, I support it too. It's how do you do that conversation? So it's confrontational for sure.
Super confrontational.
And you're basically telling that person that they're
not important to you anymore, or they're hurting you.
Yeah, they're hurting you.
Yeah.
And they either have this. They can either like help nurture that relationship. Nurture that relationship.
Like, what are you saying?
Or, or you can split ways, right?
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people, their way is to
just stop talking.
Yeah, stop talking and ignore. And I guess, yeah, and then that person is like, the other person, I should say, is never gets to know what the problem was, what happened. It's just like ghosted.
Yeah. I think to each their own. If that's the way if that's what makes people feel better at the end of the day, like if that's going to help your mental health, then you do you, that's great. On the flip side, if someone was doing that to me, I would be so hurt, so offended, so confused, being like, I thought we had a relationship for whatever, 5 years, 10 years, even just a year, and you didn't even want to put energy or effort into nurturing it, so you didn't even tell me what the problem was. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I totally support it, and I get it. It's just you need to be so confident in yourself enough to like
call
confront
someone out.
Yeah. You need to have that self confidence and enough to do it, I think.
That's true.
And I don't think a lot of people have it. They may lead it on that they do, but they don't think they do in reality.
And I think it's what you want out of that relationship. If it's something that, like, if it's a close relationship, for example, with like a really, really good friend that I've had for 5-10 years, and they've always been a constant support to me, they're part of my support system, then hell yeah, I'm going to put effort into it. But if it's just someone who over the years kind of dwindled, it's a hi bye, we meet up for coffee or lunch like once in every whatever, then I'm not as personally hurt, because it sounds bad to say, but they're not giving me what I need, if that makes sense. And I may not be giving them what they need either. So we just kind of grow apart.
Yeah. Growing apart is easy.
Yeah, that's an easy way of cutting people out.
Yeah. Because it just happens naturally, and it's not something that you think about. And
it still hurts, though, I think. If you're really close to someone, I sometimes think back about my, like, people that I was really close with, like, 5 years ago. I'm like, oh, I wonder what she's up to. Not in like a, oh my gosh, I'm going to cry about it way, but like just a curiosity type of way.
But I wouldn't consider that hurt. I would that's tricky, because for me that's just like,
you're just wondering what's happening.
Yeah, it's just I'm wondering what's happening, and it's just like a curiosity, and it's not emotionally connected. I feel like when I grow apart from people, it's just, for me, it's like my time to like slowly detach from them, and then by the time I think about it again, or that relationship, there's no emotions attached. Mm-hmm. So it's just like looking at it like this part of my life happened. I don't think I give, this is going to sound really bad, but I don't think I give people that much importance in my life, because I keep a lot of people at distance. So there's never going to be a chance when people know like the real me. Yeah. Everyone's like at arm's like length. Just because it's, like, what's the point?
Yeah, it's like a safety net, right?
Yeah, it's a safety net. And then from there you like start pulling the safety net back, and then you start letting people in. And then if anyone in that little group, like, were to leave or grow apart, then the emotions would still be attached, and like, that's when the emotional part would come in from. But for everyone else, I literally could not.
It's a circle. It's like a circle, right? There's a one parameter that's really your core friends that are really close to you, very important, blah, blah, blah. And then there's other circle, and there's another circle, and then it just kind of spreads apart. People in the outside circles, not as attached. People in the inner circles, very attached. So, yeah, you get hurt when they leave, or,
Yeah. It's just how you look at it and how you...
It's interesting. It's very interesting. Because I'm thinking, like, right now we're talking about our relationships because people are not attached to, or like really significantly attached to like a partner. Yeah. But those relationships in the next few years are really going to evolve and change as people, like, they get married or like settle down or have a really serious partner, because we put a lot of our priority to our friendships right now, because that's who we have. But that's going to change. Yeah. Exactly. So it'll be an interesting transition.
It'll be interesting to see how those dynamics change.
Yeah, and like who gets closer together and who grows apart.
Yeah, that's true. And then it'll be interesting to see, like, listening back to this in the few years.
Because we will do that. Part of the reason why we're doing these is to document.
Yeah, we're not like normal people who would just video like our lives.
Or just use memories.
Or just take pictures. We're like, no, let's talk to ourselves. And we have a plan of, like, if we ever have kids, to let the kids listen to these and like hopefully listen to them.
Stop exposing us. I'm gonna cut this part out.
Yeah, do it.
Just kidding, no.
Going back to this, I guess this is an important topic, but how does this relate to, like, I guess it relates to mental health.
Yeah, and the whole point of self-care is because you want to improve your mental health, usually.
But then right now you're saying I know you don't have any mental health, like, self-care days planned out for you. So it's like, how do you, as someone who doesn't really take self-care, like, I plan for it?
Like, I'm a huge planner, but I don't plan for self-care, which is so ironic. But I kind of do plan for self-care at the same time. So I guess it depends on your definition of self-care. So there's certain times in the day where I'm not productive, and I know that. I'm a morning person. I'm most productive from 8 a.m. to like 12. That's my prime.
4 hours?
Yeah, 4 hours. And 24 hours. If you need me to do work, I'm not doing anything the rest of the day. Give it all to me in the morning. Nothing's getting done. But no, seriously though, the rest of the hours are like, they progressively decrease as the day gets later on. So past 8 o'clock, I won't do anything. So I won't do anything that requires a lot of mental awareness, right? So I'll just like do passive work. That's a way that I do self-care. I cut off everything from after 8 o'clock, being like, okay, the rest of my work is going to be not good quality. I'm not going to do it. I'll rather watch TV, whatever, take a break. It's not planned, but it's like a part of my daily routine almost. Another thing for self-care, I would say, is like gym time.
Yeah, that's a big one for you.
Yeah, gym time is like, I get so cranky if I don't go to the gym for a few days. You can tell my mood is just off. So for some people, that gym time is like a torture. But for me, it's just a break. So I consider that to be self-care. But then there's days where after a really long project, after like hard work for something, that I just need to cut off. And I'll cut off by saying, I'll text like people that I text a lot, saying like, I'm going to be MIA from my phone for a bit. Yeah. I'm not gonna respond. So like, don't think that I died or like I'm in trouble or something. I won't check it. So if my phone dies, I don't even charge it. I just like.
I need to remember to do that, to tell people when I'm gonna take my me days, or like.
I don't mean like broadcast to the world, like put on social media, but there's like core like 1 or 2 people that I text a lot, like on a daily basis, who would notice if I was not around on social media or like just took a break from my phone, and their instinct is to be like, is she okay? Like they worry, right? So I don't want you to worry.
Basically. For me, it's just like when I'm out of it, like I don't even feel like checking my phone. Yeah. So it's like even doing the text is just like, I don't want to do it. Yeah. And I have to work on that because it's not fair for the other person, and I realize that and recognize it. So that's something that I'm going to be working on. And I do agree that going to the gym does help, because I recently started taking Taekwondo. Yeah. And then
if you want your ass kicked, don't ask Lena. She sucks.
Yeah, I suck. Don't ask
Just kidding.
Me. Don't ask me, genuinely. I like the first day I took it, something like happened, and I was like super upset, and like all these things happened, and then I went to the class for an hour, and then like it was the most freeing time. Right? I somehow like used the anger as like energy. I'm so happy you have that. Yes. And then I took a break for like not all of December, but basically December for finals, and then like my masters were out of town, so like. It just worked out.
By master, she means people that lead the Taekwondo class.
I think they would know that. That's what they
I don't know. For some reason, I was thinking of like your degree. I'm like, wait, what? Your master's? You're getting your master's?
Oh, no. The teachers, the people, the homies.
Just random link.
Yeah, my friends.
Your friends. Continue.
Can you imagine if they listen to it? They're like, they're not my friends. I don't know her. She just paid me.
Send him this link.
Yeah, I'm going to. Like, hey, Master Cam, Master Joe, listen to this.
I gave you a shout out.
Oh, God. For free. Oh, God. Anyways, but going to those classes really helped. And then not going in December, I felt like it was just like more sluggish. And like definitely having some sort of like energy outburst.
Physical activity.
Yeah, does help. And it reminds, like, for me, it just like makes me more active, had more energy right after as well.
You know what it is? It's endorphins. Your body literally gets addicted to it.
Yeah.
And
I don't think I'm addicted to it now because I'm only taking 2 classes a week, right? So.
Still. And it's part of it is routine too.
Yeah.
If I pencil it down, then I'll go. Otherwise, I won't go.
Yeah, usually things need to be written.
But okay, I have a flip side to that too. Because at one point, a few years, maybe a year ago, I was really obsessed with like going to the gym. I downloaded like MyFitnessPal, and it became to the point where when I didn't go to the gym, I would bring myself down about it, and so that was negative mental health. Mm-hmm. So it's such a fine line. So it's like. It's thinking, I went to class, I went to work, I did all this shit. It's okay if I didn't take one day to go to the gym. Yeah. And I learned that from you. You were literally like, it's fine if you don't go to the gym for one day. Like, just turn the switch off in your head and just relax, right?
I think it's because, like, I went through that a couple years ago. Not going to the gym part. Like, I'm trash. But, like, the whole monitoring my eating. Yeah. That got to really bad levels.
Monitoring your calories, yeah.
Like, following your calorie intake and then doing like the macro, micro, whatever the bullshit. Like when you do that and keep writing it and like keep monitoring it, for me at least, because I have an addictive personality.
Me too, very obsessive.
When I get into that mood, it's like everything else can fuck all. Like it is just that and only that. And then I was thinking of like it's just weird and it just wasn't healthy. So I had to cut that out. So then when you were going through it, it's just like. I had already gone through it, and I dealt how to deal with it. So then that's why I was like, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah. But then I think you just needed someone to say it. Yeah. For you to hear it and then like think about it. But
now it's like flexibility. It's If I feel good and I feel like I need to go to the gym, then I will. If I feel like I need to sit and eat and vegetate, I will do that. It's just listening to your body, listening to your brain, and actually following through with it.
And that's a huge part of self-care.
Yeah.
It's like understanding and listening to your body when it's saying that it's exhausted or when it needs a break.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people push through that because they're like, oh, well, I have a deadline, or I have this, I have that. And then they just push through that. And then at the end, they're more tired.
Yeah, so how do we manage that though? Because that's so true. In reality, this all sounds really good in theory.
Yeah.
But the reality is people do have deadlines and they do push self-care at the back of the burner because it's not as important as their career or their school. How do you balance both?
For me, it's like I haven't really gotten down to a T yet because there's a lot of times where I use self-care as a means to slack when I don't need self-care because it's like, well, it's there. Let me just take it. It's going to somehow like affect me in the future. Like that self-care.
Me with the retail therapy.
Yeah. For me, it's just like if I use that self-care now and use that as a means not to study,
yeah,
somehow I'll just like
it's for me anyways. Yeah,
it'll be banked in the future, that self-care. So then when my brain goes mental, I can just be like, oh, I had that self-care banked already, and it can just somehow work. And that's not how it works. So self-care for you, like for me at least, is a way that I sometimes use I exploit it.
Yeah,
basically to get like my brain like okay, you have self-care, like just do that. Why would you want to study? And I just use that as an example to do it. So
self-care in moderation, guys. Don't procrastinate.
That's basically everything, though. Like life needs to be in moderation.
Very true. Nothing is good in excess.
Yeah. So it's like cutting
except money. Just kidding.
Because money buys happiness.
Apparently.
Next week's topic.
Yeah. Nice plug. That was smooth.
Yeah. Let's do that.
I like it.
But no, seriously though, like self-care is so many ways that you can do self-care. It has to be like the simplest thing. Yeah. And just doing 5 minutes of it changes journaling your day. Like literally, it doesn't matter how busy you are, you still have 5 minutes to spare.
Because talk about that.
Even if you're stressed out, it's not like you're using your time efficiently because you spend half the time freaking out.
About what's about
you freak out about how to plan this, how to do that, and you're stressing. So then, use that 5 minutes at the before, like when you know you're about to
my boss
freak out.
It's so funny. So she's very high up in an organization. So she's an executive, and so when she has back-to-back meetings, she will get up from her desk if she's been in her desk for a long time. She'll walk out, and the next person for her meeting will be outside the door, and she'll say, "Sorry, can't talk right now. I'm going for a walk. I'm tired." Literally just, and the other person's like, "What the fuck? We have a meeting." She's like, "I need 5 minutes. Otherwise, I'm going to be zero productivity in this meeting." So she'll go for like a lap, even if it's just around her floor, and come back and be like, "Okay, now I'm ready. I'm sorry I kept you waiting, but this was important to me."
And that's very important.
Yeah.
And that should be celebrated in the workplace. And I would wonder if that's the same case for people who are below her.
Totally not.
Yeah.
Totally not.
Yeah. So it kind of, when you have higher position or power, authority.
Yeah. I can't imagine myself doing that.
Without getting in trouble.
Or feeling shitty about it because I'm thinking, look at these 5 people that are waiting for me in this meeting that are higher than me. And then you put yourself in a negative headspace where you're like, oh my God, their time is worth so much money. So is mine, but so is theirs. I can't keep someone waiting. It's just rude.
I also think in that same sense, it's for me, I would be thinking well, if they don't need it and they're much higher up than me and they're doing more work than me, and they don't need a self-care day,
do you need it?
Why do I need it? That's where my headspace would go rather than time is money, I'm making them wait. So it's well, if they don't need one, why the hell do I need one?
Why am I weak?
Yeah.
Right? But you set a precedent, right? As someone that has higher power, what you do is what people think is norm. And that's why it's important to set those.
Yeah, and then I think Google's doing a really cool initiative where it's 3 hours of break that they're giving.
Wow.
Of it's allocated time of 3 hours that you get. This. And then so after doing all this research, they found out once you take 3 hours break, then you're more efficient.
Yeah.
So in turn, they're getting more efficient workers, but it just depends. And it's also with different countries around the world. I think in
siestas.
Mexico or Spain, they have siestas.
Yeah, Spain. The 2-hour break. People go home, they eat,
they relax, and they come back home. And I think that's for a lot of
cultural.
Yeah, I don't know, in Eastern countries, sorry.
Yeah.
And that's like a norm, whereas here it's more like go, and it's very fast paced. I think like back there it's just like you take time, put family in first and all that kind of stuff. Work can be stressful, but you still kind of go back and relax and come back with a clear mind after you eat. So setting those examples is very important as well.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So it just depends on how you want to do it. And I feel like even just taking 5 minutes for yourself throughout the day is not too much that you're asking of yourself.
Or start with 5 minutes.
Yeah. Start with 5 minutes and you make your way up.
Yeah.
How much time can you give to yourself? And I know a lot of like people who are students who are like, well, I'm always procrastinating. Like, so I don't really deserve self-care when I'm studying. Yeah. And then, so it's like finding a balance between what's procrastination
or
and
the
what's self-care.
opposite.
Yeah.
There's also the opposite students that are like, these 5 minutes are 5 minutes wasted. I could be doing something. Me, I used to be like this. Me, I would be like, these 5 minutes, I can literally write another email and answer somebody's question or like finish one task off of my to-do list.
Yeah.
Why would I even waste these on self-care? It's not important. But
it's so important.
You come to the realization where it's like, why? Why do you always have to be on the go? Why? Like, what is a purpose?
Yeah, this is like, I think what I was trying to get at when in the previous one for FOMO, mm-hmm. It's that we kind of like miss out on a lot of just peacefulness in our 20s because we're like going so go, and I think even having self-care starting in my 20s is setting like an example for how I want it to be when I like as
have a lot of obligations.
Yeah, with like as long as my life is like stressful now, it's going to be more stressful in the future.
It's only getting
so year. If I like start putting myself and giving myself care now, then it's only going to evolve to be better in the future, right? So I'm going to find better ways to take care of myself, and that's only going to start now.
I've never thought about that before.
And then it's just going to like evolve better, and then it's going to just be normal for me to have self-care days, and I'll know how to better handle things, right?
You're right. I've never thought about that before, and I think I'm going to be terrible at it as an adult, like as a real adult. Right now I'm just fake adulting.
Yeah, because like you do so many things now that you don't think about because we're alone right now, right?
Yeah.
Like, so
we're not alone, and like not in like a sad, lonely way, but like you're only like responsible for yourself.
Yeah. You're not thinking about anyone else.
Yeah.
But what happens when you add another person into that equation? What happens if you add 2 more people? And I don't
especially
think
as women.
Yeah. And then like for me right now, I can't even think about another person because I'm like, what the hell? Like I barely can take care of myself.
That's hilarious.
And like it's like I'm not. You know what I mean?
It comes naturally when it happens, and it's in front of you, I think.
Yeah.
For most people.
Yeah, for most people. But then you have to like also be like emotionally
ready for it
or available for it, right? For me, that's how I've always thought about it. Because I'm like, if it's already set up now, then it's going to just evolve and get better.
Yeah, that's not how even now I don't think about it like that. I'm like, I'll deal with it when it happens. And well, you know, if I'm having a really shitty day then, I'll figure out how to deal with it then. Right now, I just got to work hard and hustle.
How do you deal with getting exhausted then?
It's pretty bad. It's like you hit the capacity, and you know how normally people get exhausted? Well, I can't speak for everybody, right? But when people get exhausted, they're like, okay, take a break. For me, I'm exhausted. I push, and then I'm really at like the red line of the meter where it's going to legit burst. Yeah. That's when I'm like, okay, time to take a break now.
So what does that red line feel like? Do you feel it physically or do you feel it mentally?
Both. I feel it. I notice it most when I take my anger out on my family. That's when I'm like, holy shit, why did you yell at your brother like 5 minutes ago? He didn't even do anything. He was trying to help you. I yelled at him because I was frustrated about something else I was thinking about. And it's easy to take it out on him because it's family. That's another way where I'm like, okay, there's like a limit. Now I need to, realize that I'm hurting somebody else that wasn't even his fault. Mm-hmm. That's when I'm like, okay, I need self-care. I'm exhausted about school, work, 500 million other things. But it's not fair to take that out on somebody else.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I also noticed that you take more retail therapy as a self-care route.
And it's not even for myself. It's always for somebody else. Not always. Usually. I'll go shopping and I just feel better when I'm like, I love that sweater. I'm going to buy that for my mom. Instead of me being like, I love that sweater. I'm going to buy that for me. I do that,
yeah.
But not as often as I
do it for others.
Do it for others.
But still like retail therapy and like going out.
Going out is another big thing.
Yeah.
I need to connect with people as a self-care so I can get re-energized,
Okay.
which is different from you.
Yeah, it's different from me. And I guess I don't want to say like this all the time, but it depends on certain people too, right? Like, so it can be a certain person and a certain vibe that makes you re-energized. And sometimes it's just, if I don't need it, like, it just depends on my mood too. If I have to go out or if I am expected to go out, then I would rather go out when this certain person is there than...
Who are you talking about?
You.
Low-key, I knew that. I just wanted to hear that.
Okay, can you delete this?
No, hell no.
Delete this.
Continue.
It's because like vibes are infectious, right?
They are.
And like sometimes you just know because that person will just roast you or like just do something stupid. And then
people are going to think we're in love with each other after these podcasts.
Don't even deny that you are.
Get over yourself, man. That's too funny.
But like genuinely, you just need someone like that. Like
I know what you mean.
You need a hype man. You need to hype yourself up, and then you need someone to hype you up.
That's so true.
But then you have to hype that person up too.
Yeah,
like,
it's mutually.
It's mutual hype.
Mutual hype.
Mutual hype.
Otherwise, you're just selfish. You're just taking the hype in and you're just containing it to yourself. Don't be a bitch. Yeah, the motto. That's my hype song.
Oh, okay.
Lose Yourself is my hype song too, by Eminem.
Classic.
Oh my god, anytime I need like a burst of energy or like a pep talk, I literally give myself pep talks though. Like that's not a problem. But I listen to that song, just instantly hype.
For me, my pep talk is Alina, stop being a piece of shit. Let's do this.
Yeah, I've heard you say that all the time. I say that too in front of a mirror and like, you got this, let's go.
For me, I'll just be in class or like I'll just be to myself and like, stop being a piece of shit, let's go. And then, or my actual, my new hype song is Bump by Brockhampton.
Oh, I should listen to that.
For some reason, it just like weird goes like off and I love it. Amir Van, I love him on that song. Ugh. Usually anything by Brockhampton will get me going because I'm like super obsessed with them right now. I stan them heavy. But usually anything from Drake usually helps me out.
Yes. Our boy Drake. Podcast on him coming soon too.
Yeah, podcast on Drake. Oh, Kanye. Kanye usually helps me out.
Kanye has really good hype music.
Yeah. Sometimes like for Kanye too, like it'll be like those weird nooks that
they just resonate with you.
Yeah, that just resonate with you. And My Dark Twisted Theory, Dark Twisted Fantasy?
Yeah, Fantasy.
That one. Anything from that usually is hype song.
Really?
For me, at least. Because it's messed up. I like the weird, dark, messed up songs. Kid Cudi brings me down.
I love Kid Cudi.
No, like...
It's kind of senti music,
yeah, it's senti. But that's why I don't like... It's not my hype music.
Yeah, it's not your hype music.
Who else is hype music? Chance? No, Chance the Rapper is, but it depends on the song. It's like religious for hype.
Jay-Z too.
Jay-Z,
some of Jay-Z is hype. Some of Jay-Z is very,
I go for
like,
Beyonce.
Oh, Beyonce is really good hype music.
Crazy in Love.
Oh my gosh. Anytime you want to feel good about yourself, especially I think girls.
Yeah. Feeling your
pop that Beyonce. Oh.
Even Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, Nicki Minaj.
Sometimes. Not really.
Sometimes I get annoyed of her.
Yeah.
Okay, we're sidetracking.
No, this is self-care.
Yeah, music and self-care is linked, I guess.
Self-care music? That's a huge topic because I use music a lot for my self-care.
Yeah, I do too. I use music, but not as hype songs, but as like relaxation.
Like for some reason, rap relaxes me.
What the fuck's wrong with you?
No, like it'll be like
lots of things are wrong with you. But.
Yeah. Okay, let's not go on that topic. It's going to be here forever. No, but like rap songs sometimes like they just have this beat to it. If it has a good beat, it doesn't matter if it's rap. It doesn't matter if it's like R&B. But if it has a good beat, then I will be like into it. And then my brain will just be like relaxed because it'll be with the beat. So,
Very interesting. I need like calm music when I'm trying to relax.
I get bored.
Like
I get
meditation
sleepy.
music.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Meditation?
Yeah, like,
I sleep to meditation
music. Or like instrumental music.
That's what I sleep to.
Or just kind of like plays in the background. Or jazz. Oh, jazz is super good. I love jazz.
I like jazz too. But I like the jazz hip hop mix.
Yeah, I like jazz hip hop too.
Yeah, no, I like that. I really like that. But meditation literally makes me feel like fall asleep.
Yeah, that's what I equate to for relaxation.
Oh, okay. I don't. I think sleeping is just like I need it. Let's go to sleep. I don't
really
find it as like
I use sleep to hide from my problems sometimes.
I don't.
Or like my dealing with shit. I'm like,
because I don't usually take naps.
Sleep.
I try and I don't enjoy taking naps because
Wow, you're missing out on life.
I can't, for some reason, I can't properly take naps, but I can lay down in my bed and just relax.
It fucks up your sleep schedule, though, for sure.
Yeah, so I don't like doing that.
Lots of people take naps as self-care.
Yeah.
I have a friend who's doing a master's now. Literally, he lives on campus, so he just takes naps all the time. He, like, in between classes, to and from class, like, it's great.
Yeah, I can't take naps.
He's like, I'm really stressed out about school. I'm going to take a nap. I'm like, great. Use of time.
I wish that was me. Yeah. For me, if I was stressed out, then I would be, like, creating schedules for myself nonstop.
It's interesting how everyone deals with it differently.
After the schedule's made and I'm happy with it, then I'm like, okay, let's start now.
Yeah.
And then, like, so, like, scheduling calms me down to a certain extent. And then if it's, like, or just writing it down, it's very relaxing.
Yeah, I find that relaxing, too. Like, having a plan for everything.
Mm-hmm. But that just comes from knowing yourself and what you like and what you don't like.
Yeah, and some people, they hate it. They hate the plans. It boxes them up, and they'd rather just be fluid.
Yeah. For school life, box me up.
Yeah,
get me to do stuff. But if it's like I'm on a vacation, I'd rather not plan anything and just kind of go in and then just, like, figure it out.
I don't know. I'm a mix of both for vacations because I won't pin everything. Like, it won't be, like, hour to hour, but I'll definitely have a list of, like, this is what I want to do in these days. And these are all destinations I want to hit.
So when we went to New York, that was the first time that's ever been done for me. Like, the aspect of, like, what do you want to see and what do you not want to see?
Yeah.
And, like, making a plan of, like, the places you want to go, the food you want to go, and, like, kind of putting it into account. Because when we go on vacations, at least as a family, it's just like, okay, we're here. You guys do your research when we get here or, like, before, but we just kind of go. You're, like, free. When you go there, like, just freedom, right?
I just don't want to miss anything when I go to a new place. FOMO.
Yeah.
Freaking FOMO and everything, man.
For me, it's just, like, I'm going to see it. Yeah. I'm going to, like, somehow, like, go and then I'm going to see it. Or I'm going to see something better or cooler or something that's... Because I feel like you just... When you go to a new place, you're just going to be attracted to those areas anyways.
Yeah. So
if you don't even plan for them, then you're just going to go to them anyways. So it's like... You'll figure it out when you get there, and I really like that aspect of not being boxed in.
We do. I think what I like, or what we did as a group, worked really well because we had a list of things that we wanted to, or places to go, but we didn't really. It wasn't like from this time to this time we have to do this. It was like if we can get all these places in today, that'd be great, and then we just kind of go with the flow for the rest of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that.
I like that aspect too, and that's why I didn't like freak me out that much. Before it was, I'm like, oh my God, we're so boxed in. Why aren't we giving any time for flexibility? But then, like, in reality, it was probably, like, the most organized but most fluid vacation I've ever been to.
We were a good group. That's why.
Because it's also, like, that having that relaxation time, it's like, or not relaxation, like the freedom of it, it's like allows you to see whatever you want. Yeah. And you see more. Whereas if I had just gone with my family or just by myself, I wouldn't have hit those many places.
True. Because everybody wants to see something different.
Yeah, exactly. So it didn't get so many perspectives in.
And we, at some points, did our own thing, too.
Exactly.
Like, I don't want to go here, so I'm not going to.
Yeah.
I'm going to do my own thing. Exactly. Which is perfect.
Yeah. And that's how it should be, I think. Yeah. And this one's a really, really long podcast.
Okay, let's cut it now, guys.
I feel like we should say bye. What's the last thing to say about self-care?
I don't know, really.
Mine is work in progress.
Take it and evolve with it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I feel like that's my answer to legit everything.
You should like be this is what you should say. Dear future me,
I'm gonna get better at this.
I'm gonna get better at this. I'm sorry I haven't done it already. I'm sorry there's nothing in plan, but I'm getting better at it.
Yeah, okay, fine.
We're gonna come up with some good ideas for Ishani.
Start a GoFundMe page for Ishani's self-care.
Shut the hell up. You're so annoying. You're going to take that money and invest or some bullshit.
That's so true.
You're not going to put it to self-care. You're going to be like, I could use this money and I could do this, this, and this.
I'm going to put it in NASDAQ.
You're so annoying. You're like literally the most annoying person I've ever met in my life. Now. Like any money, you're going to be like, okay, I could do this. But I could do this, and it's not going to go to yourself.
Okay, I'm not as bad as Lena makes me sound.
You're worse.
No, I'm getting better. 2018, I'm going to get better.
If you have any ideas of how we can better our self-care, or if we're already doing a bad job and you think that we should do a better job.
Or if something worked a lot for you.
Let us know.
Comment below, please.
And that will be great. And then we'll see you next week, probably on
Friday.
And we're probably going to be doing the one on love,
Money by Happiness.
Money and Happiness. And then in that, we actually watched Jay-Z's. No, that wasn't Jay-Z related, was it?
No, Jay-Z was related to race and like
race
racism,
inequality,
which will also be a podcast.
Probably in the future. Keep an eye out.
Yeah.
For right now, bye. Stay warm.
Take care.
Yeah.
Wherever you are.
Anyways, bye.
See you next week.